The biggest revolution in human history has just begun. And since I'm interested in anything that could possibly affect my stocks, I decided to put my research skills to work and jump into a rabbit hole. And the scale what I have found exceeded my expectations by a lot. After digging deep, I'm sure of one thing. The world we know today is coming to an end. But what does this even mean for us, and why should we even care? In simple terms, robots and AI are about to replace millions of jobs, reshaping the global economy faster than anything we've ever seen. But here's the twist. It's not only about you being replaced in your work. Changes can get you fired, but they also can improve your living standard and make you rich, if you are prepared for it. So what makes this revolution so different from the ones before? Let's rewind. Remember the mechanical loom? When it was introduced in 18th century, workers protested in fear of losing their jobs. And they were right, most of them did. And for some individuals, it was a hard time to go through. But over time, efficiency increased and textiles became way cheaper. Quality of life improved and many of the displaced workers found new, more meaningful roles in society. In other words, machines replaced people in one area and those people moved where they were needed more. But what if there would be no place to go and no jobs to take? Well, that's the case. The real danger here isn't just automation. It's that this revolution isn't limited to one particular sector like the most of the historical disruptions. It's not a loom or a steam engine. This time, every industry is on the table at the same time. Healthcare, construction, cleaning, building, software, assembling, writing, almost everything that you can think of will be more or less impacted by AI and robotics. That means it might be really hard to find a job anywhere because people will be laid off in many branches and the market will be flooded with unemployed people desperate to find any job. AI is already replacing people in digital space in many different branches and is targeting low-level repetitive jobs first. Why? First of all, it's way easier to train AI with massive data sets from tasks that have been already solved 1 million times before. And because AI actually amplifies high-level workers, helping them do more, faster, and without needing help from others. This all means that for high performers, AI is productivity cheat code that works as an amplifier. For low performers, it's a threat because their repetitive tasks can be done by AI way cheaper. Essentially, the more complex and less repetitive tasks you perform in your job, the less likely is that you will be automation victim. So if the rules are changing, how do we play the game? It's pretty simple. You have to evolve and adapt to the incoming system. You can easily use the changes to your advantage. Just take your chance and learn how to use new tools and become a high performer that outpaces others. Also, firing everybody isn't a goal for the company. The goal is to beat its competition. So when automations are introduced, companies can do multiple things. Imagine that a company needs 100 people to complete the project in 100 days without automation. And with automation twofold efficiency boost, the project can be done by 50 people. But that doesn't have to mean firing half the team. It could mean finishing the project in half the time to start a new one, or doubling its quality with the same team. That's why overall impact of robotics and AI is positive for society. But if you are still wondering, here's a simple framework to help you understand which jobs will be replaced first. Is the industry digitizable? If yes, AI will disrupt it pretty soon, guaranteed. Can AI do it faster, cheaper or better? If yes, it will for sure. Are people emotionally attached to how things are done now? If yes, that's huge opportunity, because they won't adapt as fast. It's also worth considering that cyberspace will be automated way faster than the physical world, simply because digital automation doesn't require hardware. Physical tools like robots must be first designed, manufactured, and scaled. which involves supply chains, engineering, production time, and a big upfront investment. Experts estimate that digital jobs like content creation, customer service, marketing, data entry, and basic coding will see big automation effects within 2 to 5 years. Physical jobs like manufacturing, delivery, construction, and healthcare support roles will take longer, maybe 5 to 15 years, depending on infrastructure, regulations, and the cost of robotics. So yes, full automation is coming, but it will take time. And now that we understand the shift, it's time to ask, how can we monetize this knowledge? But before I share my plans how to get rich on incoming changes, remember, it's not a financial advice. I highly recommend you researching everything by yourself and challenging my way of thinking in the comment section. So let's get back to video. And again, some might benefit from learning new skills and becoming more competitive in the job market, but for others, especially those who think long-term and have some capital to invest, it's big investing opportunity. Because if AI is going to transform every industry, if automation and robotics are going to boost productivity and change how we live, work, and create wealth, then the smartest move might be to position your investments in the way to benefit from incoming changes. You can compare this situation to saying that most money during gold fever was made by people selling shovels. But this time, wealth will go to companies that make humanoid robots and introduce high-level automations, and people smart enough to hold their stocks. That's something what I've been doing for a while now. I already managed to collect decent returns from the first wave of AI, from stocks like NVIDIA and few others, and now time comes to lose the grip on chip producers since their valuations are pretty extreme and shift focus towards something different, humanoid robotics. Why? As I mentioned earlier, it's a sector with massive potential that a lot of serious players are trying to get into. And what's even more important, most stocks valuations don't price in the possible upside for companies involved in this space. That's mostly because it still feels abstract for many people, and the numbers didn't yet reflect the wave of changes. It's hard to tell exactly when attention and money will start to flow, but in this year and 2026, most companies start sales and develop technologies to scale up. That means we are in a crucial moment, when we transition from research phase to adoption phase. So companies will finally monetize their technologies. Just if you were wondering, this is a graph of predictions for the growth of the sector by the 3 most reliable sources. And we are here. It's early, and that's the whole point of the stock market. To notice the opportunity faster than others do. Also, if history teaches us anything, it's that once a technology goes mainstream like ChatGPT did for AI, the market moves fast. So companies like Robotics, Tesla, XPeng, NVIDIA, Canon, and others might be among the big beneficiaries of this trend over the next few decades. I'm not saying these are guaranteed peaks, just examples, worth watching as the space develops. I will upload a full episode focusing only on companies and supply chains involved here, but for now, here's a quick highlight. This is a basic map of the most needed components in humanoid robotics. At the center, you've got companies that assemble full humanoid robots, like Tesla, BYD, and XPeng. But these names are just scratching the surface of what's going on. Others are focused on software infrastructure. NVIDIA, for example, is building simulation platform where robots can learn and adapt in virtual environment. That's something like Robo-Metaverse that can drastically speed up development of these technologies without relying solely on real-life testing. Imagine what potential the sector holds if a giant like NVIDIA is competing. They wouldn't be in the game if there weren't something big at stake. Then you have a great example of precise servomotor company worth mentioning, Japanese Harmonic Drive Systems, which is already officially connected to humanoid robots and is strategically positioned to benefit from the high demand for their products in the future when the sector grows. Next on the map are companies like Hesai, Canon or Luminar Technologies that are or will likely be providers for environmental mapping systems. Robots have to move and precisely recognize the environment, so some sort of sensors like cameras, optical or laser mapping have to be used. And looking a bit further ahead, robots won't be just tools. They will likely become a part of social fabric. That opens doors for industries working on realistic materials, emotional interactions, and even synthetic skin. We will likely see more human-like constructions, like what Robotics is experimenting with, using hydraulic systems to mimic muscle fibers for precise movements that are energy efficient. So here's the bottom line. The world is changing fast. AI and robotics aren't the distant future. They are already here, reshaping industries and economy all around us. We can ignore it, fear it, or resist it, or what I prefer, invest in it. And remember, the biggest opportunities feel strange, uncertain, or too early at first, until suddenly they're obvious. Think Bitcoin under $1 or NVIDIA before AI boom. Today we are looking at a similar inflection point, this time in physical AI and humanoid robotics. Of course, nothing is guaranteed, but knowledge, timing and perspective are powerful tools. That's why we should study this space closely, without hype, fear or bias. I'll be releasing more videos soon, breaking down companies, technologies and supply chains behind the rise of humanoid robots. Stay sharp and good luck!